4 o'clock tomorrow, Pitt travels to Chapel Hill to take on UNC men's basketball. Loser leaves town match. I'm declaring it right now, Graham. Loser leaves town. Dennis Cox sitting in for Tim Donnelly here on The Drive, here on 99.9 The Fan. Graham Hill producing the show. Latest bracket projections from Joe Lunardi of ESPN when it comes to the NCAA tournament. You're the last team in of the field of 68. The last team in, Wake Forest. So basically number 68 of 68, Wake Forest. The first 4 teams out. So the ones basically waiting in line when the bouncer says the club is full, the one standing right there at the rope. Arkansas, Xavier, SMU, Central Florida. Those are the first 4 out. The next 4 out, so the people standing a little bit further in line that realize they're not going to get in the club when the people in front of them start complaining, Pitt, Carolina, VCU, USC. So based on this lineup, based on this ranking, on this projection, Pitt is essentially number 73, and UNC is number 74 when it comes to the field. Again, only 68 teams get into the NCAA tournament. So if you lose this game, Pitt or Carolina, lose this game, you can just go ahead and kiss your chances of making the NCAA tournament as an at-large goodbye. Now, win isn't going to guarantee you a spot. That's not what I'm saying. But a win at least allows you to stay in line. That's what's at stake tomorrow in Chapel Hill. Whomever loses this game, you are staring dead straight at having to win the ACC tournament, pulling an NC State from last year, winning the ACC tournament to go to the NCAA tournament. That's the only way you can punch your ticket. Because if you look at it, North Carolina doesn't have a lot of quality chances to gain, especially after this game. Obviously, I just mentioned they got Pitt tomorrow. Clemson, who's right now projected to be an 8 seed in the NCAA tournament, they have them on Monday night. At Clemson, by the way. Maybe when Duke plays them tomorrow, maybe Duke can beat them up a little bit for you when they play tomorrow night. But outside of that Clemson game on Monday as well, you have Duke at home to end the year. That's it. That's the only way you can actually boost your resume as those games. Your other remaining games are Syracuse, home against NC State, home against Virginia, at Florida State, home against Miami, at Virginia Tech. Those games aren't going to give you squat if you're in North Carolina. There aren't going to... Now, you can't lose those. Can't lose one of those games and be like, yeah, we're going to be playing in Milwaukee, right? As an 11 seed. No, you're not. You have to win those games, the ones I just mentioned. Syracuse, State, UVA, FSU, Miami, Virginia Tech. You have to win those games. But you have to also beat Pitt. In my opinion, you have to beat Pitt. If you lose to Clemson, not the worst thing in the world. Losing to Duke, not the worst thing in the world. But the team that you are literally standing right behind when it comes to getting in the NCAA tournament, you can't lose to Pitt. Now, it would help if you beat Clemson and or Duke, because those are only going to boost your resume even further. But UNC needs wins, and they need wins badly. Hubert Davis, there's a ton riding on this game. Can you get your team ready to go? You have said in games recently, like for example, the one that you went to overtime with against Boston College, questions about motivation, especially playing defense. But what more motivation do you need? Like, hey guys, if you guys want to be playing in the NCAA tournament, you have to win. If that doesn't get you amped up as an athlete or a coach, I don't know what you're doing. Not only is UNC, by the way, Graham, not only is North Carolina in danger of missing the NCAA tournament for the second time in 3 years, they might be playing on Tuesday of the ACC tournament. They might be playing on Tuesday of the ACC tournament. I'll explain what that means. If you're playing on Tuesday, it means you finish somewhere between 9th and 15th in the conference. 9th and 15th in the conference. They're currently at 7th. Record of 6-5 in the ACC. Pitt's right behind them at 5-6. So Pitt's sitting at 8. And then there are 4 teams at 5-7. So just one back in the win column. Florida State, Cal, Georgia Tech, Virginia Tech. Last time I checked, you have a couple of those teams on your schedule coming up. That is the company that North Carolina is in right now in the ACC. They're lumped in with Pitt, Florida State, Cal, Georgia Tech, Virginia Tech. That is the company North Carolina is in right now. And for Pitt, their only quality opponents that they have to gain any sort of traction is North Carolina this Saturday. They play against SMU, which is on the bubble right now on the outside looking in. And Louisville, who's projected to be a tournament team, probably around a 7 seed right now is what they're projected to be. That's it for Pitt. So Pitt has to win this game for themselves too. Because again, they're on the outside looking in. Pitt and North Carolina. They're standing in line, hoping that they can get past the rope, past the bouncer and in. They're hoping. But you have to win this weekend just to stay in line. Otherwise, you got to win the ACC tournament just to make the NCAA tournament. So yes, loser leaves town match tomorrow in Chapel Hill.